Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am BC Pramod and with me is Renuka with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says government aims to set up at least one medical college in every district and one AIIMS in every state. Prime Minister virtually inaugurates 35 PSA oxygen plants in 35 states and union territories. President Ramnath Kovind inaugurates 450-bedded government teaching hospital at Chamarajnagar in Karnataka today. Health Ministry says around 92.77 crore vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far. Government to grant fresh tourist visas to foreigners coming to India through chartered flights from the 15th of this month. Finance Ministry releases 40,000 crore rupees back-to-back loans to states and union territories with Legislative Assembly to meet shortfall in GST compensation. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says infrastructure development is a necessary action and has a ripple effect on the country's economy. In women's cricket, first T20 match between India and Australia abandoned due to rain at Carrara Oval in Queensland. And in IPL cricket, Punjab Kings defeat Chennai Super Kings by 6 wickets in Dubai, and another match between Kolkata Knight Riders and Rajasthan Royals is underway in Sharjah. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is underway, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also help others get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi dedicated to the nation 35 pressure swing adsorption PSA oxygen plants established under PM CARES across 35 states and union territories in an event held at AIIMS Rishikesh, Uttarakhand today. With this, all districts of the country will now have commissioned PSA oxygen plants. Addressing the gathering, the Prime Minister said that India faced the challenge of COVID-19 valiantly and is prepared to meet the future challenges of the disease. He said during the pandemic, the whole world was watching our hard work and capability to contain the spread of COVID-19.
भारत ने जो सुविधाएं तैयार की वो हमारे देश के सामर्थ्य को दिखाता है। सिर्फ एक टेस्टिंग लैब से करीब 3000 टेस्टिंग लैब का नेटवर्क बनना, मास्क और किट्स के आयात के प्रारंभ हमारी जिंदगी आज निर्यातक बनने का सफर तेजी से पार कर रही। देश के दूर दराज वाले इलाकों में भी नए वेंटिलेटर्स की सुविधाएं, मेड इन इंडिया कोरोना वैक्सीन का तेजी से और बड़ी मात्रा में निर्माण, दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा और सबसे तेज टीकाकरण अभियान भारत ने जो कर दिखाया वो हमारी संकल्प शक्ति, हमारे सेवा भाव, हमारी एकजुटता का प्रतीक है.
The Prime Minister remarked that it is a matter of pride for every Indian that 93 crore doses of corona vaccine have been administered. Very soon, India will cross the 100 crore mark. He said India has shown the way to the whole world by building the CoWIN platform that shows how vaccination is done on such a large scale.
भारत ने कोविन प्लेटफॉर्म का निर्माण करके पूरी दुनिया को राह दिखाई है कि इतने बड़े पैमाने पर वैक्सीनेशन किया कैसे जाता है. पहाड़ हो या रेगिस्तान, जंगल हो या समंदर, 10 लोग हो या 10 लाख, हर क्षेत्र तक आज हम पूरी सुरक्षा के साथ वैक्सीन पहुंचा रहे हैं. इसके लिए देश भर में 1,30,000 से ज्यादा टीकाकरण केंद्र स्थापित किए गए हैं.
Prime Minister Modi said, "We managed the transportation of medical oxygen on a war footing through the railways and the Air Force." He said more than 1 lakh oxygen concentrators were provided to the people. The Prime Minister noted that till 6-7 years ago, only a few states had the facility of AIIMS. Today, work is being done to take AIIMS to every state. He said we are moving fast from 6 AIIMS to build a strong network of 22 AIIMS. It is also the goal of the government that there must be at least one medical college in every district of the country. Referring to connectivity in Uttarakhand, Prime Minister Modi said that work on the all-weather road linking the Char Dhams was picking up fast. Besides, rail and air connectivity is also being provided to the state. He said that Uttarakhand has been playing a big role in the defense of the country.
President Ramnath Kovind has inaugurated a 450-bedded government teaching hospital at Chamarajanagar Institute of Medical Sciences in Karnataka today. Speaking on the occasion, the President emphasized on reaching healthcare to the remotest parts of the country. He noted that the government teaching hospital that he inaugurated today will help the people, mostly comprising of tribals in Chamarajanagar, to access healthcare services. The President appreciated the efforts of healthcare warriors in creating a world record in vaccinating 25 million people in a single day and informed that India will soon cross the 1 billion mark in terms of vaccination.
We managed to vaccinate close to 25 million people, and our cumulative coverage will soon cross 1 billion mark. We could not have achieved this distinction without the exemplary commitment of our healthcare professionals. I believe that two professions which form the twin foundations for the development of a nation are healthcare and education. This institute combines within itself both of these.
The government has said that the COVID-19 graph in the country is plateauing but still reporting as high as 20,000 infections a day. Briefing media in New Delhi this evening, Joint Secretary in Health Ministry Love Agarwal said Kerala recorded 50% of the total cases last week. He said Kerala has over 108,000 active COVID-19 cases currently and 4 states have active cases between 10. Warning people about threat of COVID resurgence during festival and wedding season, Mr. Agarwal urged everyone not to lower their guard in October, November and December. He advised people to avoid crowded places, unnecessary travel and requested everyone to stay home, celebrate festivals virtually and explore online shopping.
क्या हम अपनी सेलिब्रेशन को ऑनलाइन शिफ्ट कर सकते हैं? हम आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे, बहुत सारी ऑप्शंस हमारे सामने अवेलेबल हैं। अगर दुर्गा पूजा भी है, क्या हम उसको वर्चुअली अटेंड कर सकते हैं? क्या हमारी रामलीला ऑनलाइन हो सकती है? क्या हम वीडियो कॉल के द्वारा अपने लव्ड वन से बात कर सकते हैं ताकि वह भी सेफ रहें और हम भी सेफ रहें और हमारे घर के बुजुर्ग भी सभी लोग सेफ रह सकें? जरूरी है कि हम अपने आप को बचाएं और हम अपने लव्ड वंस को बचाएं।
Mr. Agarwal said 71% of India's adult population have received at least one dose of COVID-19 vaccine. 27% have got both the doses. Member Health in Niti Aayog Dr. V.K. Paul said 8.36 lakh hospital beds are available for coronavirus patients and nearly 1 million additional isolation beds in dedicated care centres.
The government today issued guidelines for PM Cares for Children scheme. The objective of the scheme is to ensure comprehensive care and protection of children who have lost their parents due to COVID pandemic in a sustained manner, enable their well-being through health insurance, empower them through education and equip them for self-sufficient existence with financial support on reaching 23 years of age. The scheme provides for support to these children through convergent approach, gap funding for ensuring education, health, monthly stipend from the age of 18 and lump sum amount of 10 lakh rupees on attaining 23 years of age. In an exclusive interview to AIR News, Chief Economic Advisor Krishnamurthy Subramaniam said the rebound in services sector is crucial as contact-based services were badly hit by the pandemic and the rapid vaccination process has been a significant factor for the recovery in services sector.
Large section of the adult population has gotten first dose, and as we had pointed out as well, one dose together with seroprevalence gives protection equivalent to 2 doses. This is critical in the recovery of the service sector.
This interview can be heard tonight in our World News program on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 10:30 p.m. onwards. Home Ministry will begin granting fresh tourist visas to foreigners coming to India through chartered flights with effect from the 15th of this month. Home Ministry in a statement said Foreign tourists travelling to India by flights other than chartered aircraft would be able to do so with effect from the 15th of November. It said all COVID-19 protocols and norms notified by Health Ministry to be adhered to by foreign tourists, carriers bringing them into India and other stakeholders at landing stations. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, all visas granted to foreigners were suspended last year.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar today said India's ties with the ASEAN are rooted in history, geography and culture. Speaking at the inaugural session of the India-ASEAN Business Summit, Dr. Jaishankar said there is no doubt that the ASEAN is one of the major hubs for India's global economic engagement. He said the COVID pandemic has brought 4 areas into sharp focus for international business cooperation. These are resilient and reliable supply chains, health security, digital for development, and green and sustainable recovery. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has said that infrastructure is by itself a necessary action and it has a ripple effect on our economy. The central government is emphasizing on to put money on infrastructure development in the country and has increased 34% budgetary grant in this sector, she added. The Finance Minister said this while inaugurating Right to Public Service RTPS web portal and an exhibition on externally aided projects at a function in Guwahati today. Ms. Sitharaman informed that an estimated cost of 3,094 crore rupees would be spent on the construction of the bridge.
Finance Ministry today released 40,000 crore rupees to the states and UTs with legislature under the back-to-back loan facility to meet the shortfall in GST compensation. Earlier, on the 15th of July this year, 75,000 crore rupees was released to the states and UTs with legislature. With the current release, the total amount released in the current financial year as back-to-back loan in lieu of GST compensation has reached to 1,15,000 crore rupees. This release is in addition to normal GST compensation being released every 2 months out of the actual cess collection.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says government aims to set up at least 1 medical college in every district and 1 AIIMS in every state. Prime Minister virtually inaugurates 35 PSA oxygen plants in 35 states and union territories. President Ramnath Kovind inaugurates 450-bedded government teaching hospital at Chamarajnagar in Karnataka today. Health Ministry says around 92.77 crore vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far. Government to grant fresh tourist visas to foreigners coming to India through chartered flights from 15th of this month. Finance Ministry releases 40,000 crore rupees back-to-back loan to states and union territories with the Legislative Assembly to meet shortfall in GST compensation. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says infrastructure development is a necessary action and has a ripple effect on country's economy. In women's cricket, first T20 match between India and Australia abandoned due to rain at Carrara Oval in Queensland. In IPL cricket, Punjab Kings defeat Chennai Super Kings by 6 wickets in Dubai, and another match between Kolkata Knight Riders and Rajasthan Royals is underway in Sharjah. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे।
स्वाधीनता आंदोलन के दौरान भारतीय जनमानस को उद्वेलित कर स्वतंत्रता का अलख जगाने और मातृभूमि के प्रति सेवा, समर्पण और त्याग की ज्वाला प्रज्वलित कर देने वाले अमर गीतों पर आधारित विशेष कार्यक्रम आजादी के तराने सुनना न भूलें। FM गोल्ड 100.1 मेगाहर्ट्ज पर प्रत्येक शुक्रवार शाम 4:45 पर परिक्रमा कार्यक्रम के अंतर्गत आजादी के तराने सिर्फ आकाशवाणी पर।
Welcome back to the evening news on All India Radio. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has called upon the scientists to come out with innovative research to protect and conserve the rich bioresources and livestock of the northeastern region. He said this during the visit to ICAR National Research Centre on Mithun in Dimapur, Nagaland today. Noting that northeastern India is an important biodiversity hotspot, Mr. Naidu said our scientific institution should work for development of location-specific technologies which are sustainable, climate resilient and culturally in sync with the tribal cultures of the region. As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events are being organized by the government as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Let's listen now to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
The day of 7th October is marked as a black day in the history of India's freedom movement because on this day in 1930, the death sentence to great freedom fighters and revolutionaries Bhagat Singh, Rajguru and Sukhdev in the Lahore conspiracy case was pronounced. A special tribunal was set up by the British Imperial government to speed up the trial as the popularity of the revolutionaries in the Lahore jail was increasing day by day and stirred the nationalist sentiment in the entire country.
Viceroy Lord Irwin declared an emergency on 1st of May 1930 and introduced an ordinance to set up a special tribunal composed of 3 High Court judges for the case. This decision cut short the normal process of justice.
On 2nd July 1930, a habeas corpus petition was filed in the High Court challenging the ordinance. The petition argued that the Viceroy had power to introduce an ordinance only under conditions of a breakdown of law and order. The petition claimed that in this case, such condition had not occurred.
However, the petition was dismissed as being premature. On 7th October 1930, the tribunal delivered its 300-page judgment and concluded that the participation of Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev and Rajguru in British police officer John Saunders' murder was proven. They were sentenced to death by hanging.
देश मेरे मेरी जान है तू देश मेरे मेरी जान है तू
7th October is also the birth anniversary of a woman freedom fighter from Tamil Nadu, S.N. Sundarambal, who was born on this day in 1913 in Tirupur. Several freedom fighters from Tirupur and Coimbatore districts fought for the nation's cause during the British era, but statues of only 2 of them have been erected in Tirupur city.
One of them is Tirupur Kumaran, also known as Kodikatha Kumaran, who is among the most celebrated freedom fighters from the region. The other is a simple and humble S.N. Sundarambal, who didn't step back from the front line of the movement even when nursing a newborn. Sundarambal was born in Veerapandi in Tirupur. Despite being from a rich family, she was interested in social service and the freedom struggle. In 1928, Mahatma Gandhi requested the public to donate to the Congress party to fight the British rule.
Sundarambal climbed the stage and offered her gold bangles to the great leader. Mahatma Gandhi told her to instead join the non-violent resistance for Indian independence. Sundarambal went on to participate in several protests during the freedom struggle, and during the Satyagraha protest in 1941, she was arrested along with her newborn son and jailed in the Vellore prison for 3 months. She participated in the Quit India movement and was arrested and sent to the Vellore prison again.
In 1943, Sundarambal organized a large-scale demonstration in Tirupur against the British government and was again arrested and jailed for 3 months. After independence, she took an active interest in ensuring farmers' welfare in the district and organized many protests for them.
7th October is also the death anniversary of freedom fighter, reformer and educationist K. Kelappan Nair, who is also known as Kerala Gandhi. He was a founding member and president of Nair Service Society. In 1930, he led the salt satyagraha and marched to Payyanur beach and made salt.
Besides, he also fought relentlessly against untouchability and caste-based discrimination. He played a crucial role in the unification of the state of Kerala. He was elected to Parliament in 1952.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in next episode tomorrow.
The Supreme Court today asked Uttar Pradesh government to file a status report by tomorrow on the Lakhimpur Kheri incident. A bench headed by the Chief Justice N.V. Ramana, while hearing a petition calling for action in the killing of farmers in Lakhimpur Kheri, has asked the state government to file a status report specifying action taken and the 8 who were killed on Sunday during a protest against Union Minister Ajay Mishra's visit. Uttar Pradesh police today arrested 2 accused in Lakhimpur Kheri violence case in which 8 people died on Sunday. IG of Lucknow Zone Lakshmi Singh told media that police teams are looking out for Ashish Mishra, who is named in the FIR. Police today arrested 2 accused, namely Lav Kush and Ashish Pandey, and interrogating them. Earlier in the morning, State formed a 1-member commission for the investigation of Lakhimpur violence. Retired Justice of Allahabad High Court, Pradeep Kumar Srivastava, will investigate the Lakhimpur violence. The commission will submit its report in 2 months.
In Spotlight, the last episode of the special series, Seva or Samarpan, 20 Saal Sushaasan Ke, showcases Prime Minister Narendra Modi's 20 years of good governance and service to the nation. This special program can be heard tonight on FM Gold Channel and additional frequencies from 9:15 p.m. onwards. This program will also be available on our website newsonair.gov.in and on our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has completed 20 years today as the head of a public office since assuming office as Chief Minister of Gujarat. On the 7th of October 2001, Mr. Modi was first sworn in as Chief Minister of Gujarat. Mr. Modi's 20-year-long journey of public service has been devoted to make India a prosperous and a strong global leader. Several union ministers and BJP leaders have lauded Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership on his completion of 20 years as the head of the government. Home Minister Amit Shah has also congratulated Prime Minister Narendra Modi on completing 20 years of public service as the head of a state government and the central government. Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur has congratulated Prime Minister Narendra Modi on his completion of 20 years as the head of the government. Mr. Thakur said, during 20 years of good governance, Mr. Modi has made outstanding contribution in building a strong and self-reliant nation. He said these 2 decades of his service will be known for good governance, service and dedication.
दुनिया के सबसे बड़े लोकतंत्र में प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी की जो प्रधान सेवक की भावना से जो काम करते हैं, सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका विश्वास मूल मंत्र के साथ जो काम किया, शायद यही कारण है गुजरात को भी आगे बढ़ाया तो बाद में भारत को भी आगे बढ़ाने का किया। और ये 20 वर्ष तो मैं कहूंगा उनके सुशासन, सेवा, समर्पण भाव के लिए जाने जाएंगे। ये ऐतिहासिक 20 वर्ष का कार्यकाल न केवल मोदी जी के जीवन की उपलब्धि है, ये भारत को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए एक बहुत बड़ा काम उन्होंने किया है।
Navaratri, the 9-day-long festival to worship Goddess Durga, begins today with religious fervour and gaiety. During Navaratri, the 9 forms of Goddess Durga are worshipped. On the first day, Devi Durga is worshipped as Shailputri. Prasar Bharati Network will broadcast special shows, live coverages and much more to pep up the festive mood. To be a part of the celebrations, Doordarshan and All India Radio will broadcast a lot of engaging content, devotional and entertainment. On the occasion of Navratri festival, Ramanand Sagar's Ramayana will be telecast on DD National in the form of feature-length films over the next 10 days. Prasar Bharati CEO Shashi Shekhar Vempati informed this through a tweet. The External Affairs Ministry today said the reports of vandalism of Gurudwara in Kabul raise concerns not just for India but also across the world. Briefing media in New Delhi this evening, Ministry spokesperson Arindam Bagchi said it is very important that the international community continues to insist on fulfillment of the goals outlined in the UNSC Resolution 2593. On resumption of flights between India and Afghanistan, Mr. Bagchi said it is a complicated and sensitive issue and there are various factors that need to be taken into account. Replying to a query on recent terrorist attacks in Jammu and Kashmir, the spokesperson said India strongly condemns such attacks. He said India is worried about the cross-border terrorism and is discussing the issue at various platforms.
The death toll in the road accident in Barabanki district of Uttar Pradesh has further increased to 14, while more than 30 people were injured and admitted in different hospitals. Accident happened near Baburi village under Deva police station of Barabanki district when a tourist bus collided this morning with a truck coming in from the other side. 8 people died on the spot in the accident. Around 70 people were there in the bus, which was coming from Bahraich district. In the women's cricket, the first T20 match between India and Australia has been abandoned due to rain at the Carrara Oval in Queensland. Both teams were given 1 point each. India was at 131 for 4 in 15.2 overs when play stopped. Earlier, Australia won the toss and opted to bowl. This is the 3-match T20 series after the 3 ODIs and the one-off day and night test. In IPL cricket, Kolkata Knight Riders were 138 for 3 in 16.3 overs against Rajasthan Royals in Sharjah when reports last came in. Earlier, Rajasthan Royals won the toss and elected to field. In another match, Punjab Kings defeated Chennai Super Kings by 6 wickets at Dubai International Stadium.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The National Capital Delhi will have mainly clear sky. The temperature will vary between 24 and 36 degrees Celsius. Mumbai, to have rain or thunder showers would occur towards evening or night. The minimum temperature will be 25 degrees Celsius while the maximum is 35 degrees. Chennai is expected to have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. The temperature will vary between 26 and 32 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. The city will observe a minimum temperature of 27 degrees and maximum around 35 degrees. Srinagar will have mainly clear sky. Temperature will hover between 10 and 28 degrees Celsius. Jammu will have mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature will be 21 degrees and maximum around 34. Leh is likely to witness partly cloudy sky. The minimum and maximum temperature will be between 2 and 18 degrees Celsius. Gilgit will have mainly clear sky. The temperature will hover between 9 and 31 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have mostly sunny sky. The minimum temperature will be 15 and the maximum will be around 32 degrees. Visakhapatnam will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. The city will observe a minimum temperature of 26 degrees and maximum of around 33 degrees. Bengaluru will have partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Thiruvananthapuram will generally have cloudy sky with few spells of rain or thunder showers. The minimum and maximum temperature will be 23 and 30 degrees Celsius respectively.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says government aims to set up at least 1 medical college in every district and 1 AIIMS in every state. Prime Minister virtually inaugurates 35 PSA oxygen plants in 35 states and union territories. President Ramnath Kovind inaugurates 450-bedded government teaching hospital at Chamarajnagar in Karnataka today. Health Ministry says around 92.77 crore vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far. Government to grant fresh tourist visas to foreigners coming to India through chartered flights from the 15th of this month. Finance Ministry releases 40,000 crore rupees back-to-back loan to states and union territories with Legislative Assembly to meet shortfall in GST compensation. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman says infrastructure development is a necessary action and has a ripple effect on the country's economy. In women's cricket, first T20 match between India and Australia abandoned due to rain at the Carrara Oval in Queensland. And in IPL cricket, Punjab Kings defeated Chennai Super Kings by 6 wickets in Dubai, and another match between Kolkata Knight Riders and Rajasthan Royals is underway in Sharjah. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.